Hey everybody, Ellie here, and I am back. Today we are just going to explore our shoulders. So, first thing, where are your shoulders? What are your shoulders? Before we get into that, I'm Ellie. I help people move out of pain. I help people move better. I help people become more aware of their body and their movement and how that can contribute to having pain in their bodies, and or how better movement can contribute to reducing that pain in your bodies. Anyway, I've been doing Move More every day in March, so if you go through either my Facebook group or my YouTube channel, you can backtrack and see some of the other lives that I've done. In the YouTube channel, just go to the live section and they'll be listed there. And I hope this has been useful. It's kind of fun for me to just do what I normally do on any given day with an audience. So back to shoulders. So shoulders are, I guess they're kind of complex. Our shoulders are connected. So when we have problems with our shoulders, some people are thinking about this part of their body, this muscle that connects the neck to the shoulder. This is the top of the humerus bone. The shoulder joint is inside there, where it's a ball with a socket and it moves. Our shoulders have a pretty good range of movement. We can go into flexion and abduction, and so there's all kinds of things we can do with our shoulders. And yet when we have pain in our shoulders, sometimes it's confusing because we can't really tell exactly where the pain's coming from. Sometimes it goes down the arms, sometimes it goes up into the neck, as I said. Sometimes it's back here, that spot that's like, yikes, how do you get to that spot back there that's sort of between those shoulder blades? So when I actually had an injury in my shoulder, and one of the things that I really enjoyed doing, that the PT people taught me, was to actually let your shoulders just hang. So try that. So you can stand upright. That's a little bit harder, I guess, to get some movement there. But if you just flex over and just dangle those arms and those shoulders, gravity is pulling and getting some space in there. And if you can rock your whole body and just allow your head to hang down, and just allow your arms to swirl around, go one direction and then the other direction, kind of like a pendulum. And you're just letting go of the tension of holding your shoulders. You can go back and forth, you can go forward. You can sort of test and see which shoulder feels more let go, like which shoulder. So for me, this right arm feels like that can kind of just move on its own. But the left, there feels to be some, like it's trying to move through muck or something. Even though if I were to say which shoulder do I have most trouble with, it would be that right one. But it feels like it can move more easily that way. That's one thing you can do for movement. Another thing you can do for movement is just shrug your shoulders. This is especially good if you find yourself when you're at the computer and you're working And you find as you get tense, and if you're dealing with something stressful and your shoulders go up, 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 and you're typing and you're not even aware you're doing this, you can do it even more. Shrug as high up as you can and then drop it. And do it again, as high up as you can, and then drop it. And just notice how that dropped space feels very different. You can fold your shoulders forward and then up and then back and do a shrugging, rounding movement like that. And you can go the other direction. Before you do anything, if you feel like you have restriction in your arm, you can also test. You can find a wall and you can raise your arm up, and you want to raise it up to, you want to stop before you hit pain. So if you have a shoulder issue that causes pain and it stops you there, stop there. You can sort of eyeball that spot. And then after you do some of the shoulder movement work, which I'm only going to do a little today, maybe tomorrow I'll get into it a little bit more, but you can then test that and see if it's changed at all. Okay? You can also come back here. If you want to get full body movement in this and you're alongside the wall here, you can put weight on the inner leg, the leg closest to the wall, and then have that hip go back. And as it goes back, you allow your arm to go back too. And then you can trace this circle, and you can feel how that's connected to your whole body movement. When we go to reach behind us, if we're just using our shoulder, do you see how that kind of gives a little bit of tension and tightness? And this is actually something I talk to people about when they're getting in the car and using their seatbelts, right? So if you go to put a seatbelt on and you can't quite reach and you can't turn your head and you can't turn here first. That will help you be able to turn far enough to grab that seatbelt and come back. And then you can try the other side. What else was I going to say? So that's sort of connecting. Our shoulders are connected to our torso by big muscles in the back, the latissimus dorsi. They're also connected by these other muscles all along the ribs there. So they're not separate. They're not separate from your body. And when we tend to do things like shovel and we just use our arms and our shoulders, we're going to end up with pain there. But if we use our whole body to shovel, you'll find that it's supporting those shoulders. We have a lot of little muscles in here. You probably heard of the rotator cuff muscles. That's a number of muscles. It's not just one muscle. And when people tear their rotator cuff muscle, one of those muscles, most of the times people don't know which one they've torn, but if you tear one of those muscles, it's possibly because that muscle has been being used as a prime mover and a lifter, as opposed to what its real job is just to help centrate that joint. They're just supposed to be able to keep that joint central in there so that it supports all that movement. Let's see, what else about shoulders? So other things that you can play around with movement in shoulders is using a pole. You can, and again, whole body, so doing that, leaning forward from here, getting that front lengthening. If you do that with the pole, our shoulders respond to the lengthening in our spine. In the other direction too, if we're coming back, those shoulders are opening up in the back. So that's like a swimming motion, or I think about like the owl, or an eagle swooping down. And these are our wings. So our shoulders are also affected by our hands and our forearms and our biceps. They're all connected and connected to the pectoral muscles. So one of the things that I do when I want to reduce the pain in a shoulder is I open this area up first. So we tend to do everything with our arms sort of curled forward because, you know, front of face, eyes. So we're going to be like this. But what we forget to do is then open back up in the opposite direction, and we end up walking around like this with our arms, our back of our arms facing forward, when really they should be more open like that. So that opening starts at here for most people. So I open this area up. You can put your hands right on that pectoral muscle. Give it a little rub, maybe feel if it's tender or not. And press your fingers in there. And then with your arm like this, bend it back. So you're not turning, you're just bending this arm like that. So you're sort of externally rotating it. And as you do that, you push and you give this muscle the sense of opening up in here. You can also just grab that spot right there and pick up the pectoral muscle and try to get it to relax a little bit and open that up. And then start to work the other muscles, which I can do another time. I've got some things that I do to help, especially based on the Rossiter system that I do. I step on a muscle. I can't step on my own muscle or my own area, but there are some ways that I can help get that muscle to relax so that everything else can relax as well. Tomorrow what I'll do is I'll do some work on the floor with shoulders, and that way I can get the camera to face down. So shoulders, what else? I don't have my notes on me. When you're looking at your range of motion in your shoulders, our arms can come up this way, and we can look, where does that get sticky or painful or cause issues? With this left arm, I feel it down in here in the ribs. And that makes total sense. So I can dig my fingers in those ribs and give a little bit of a lengthening along this way. I can also stop right there and take a nice deep breath right into my fingers. And then, yeah, that's already better. So the arms can go that way. They can go this way. They can go this way. They can go this way or this way. And you want to test, where do you feel tightness? Where do you feel it not moving well? Notice what it does feel good. The muscle I was talking about back here, we can do this on the floor tomorrow, but if you have a tennis ball, you can place that in that spot back there. There. Lean in and then move your arm around. And so you're going to move your arm. You can move your whole body and then follow and find the spot. But you can move your arm up like this. You can rotate. So I'm externally rotating this arm, And that's opening up this pectoral muscle too. Reach back a little bit. Touch my thumb to that wall. Internal rotate my arm. Externally rotate again. Tomorrow I will try to remember to bring my massage hook with me, and I'll show you some work that you can do on the traps. And already just from doing that work, I feel like I'm standing upright better. So try it, see how it works for you. See if you can get a little bit better movement. Just remember to be gentle with it. We're not stretching. We're not trying to bully our arm or our shoulders into behaving. You're just feeling nice and easy what those shoulders want for movement. And then tomorrow I'll do a little more. I don't want to overload. There's a lot that you can do. And you might find one thing that will help you out of all the things. But if you find one thing that helps you, yay, then you're better off than you were beforehand. So enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I have an announcement to make. Well, I'll give you a hint. On March 26th, I will be running a workshop, and I will let you know the details in my channel tomorrow when I get the details finalized. But the workshop date is on Thursday the 26th, and it's going to be mindful movement, the basics. Have a great day.